Be really interesting to see if people have made anything that that I've showcased. If you've made the bolognese, if you've made any of the chicken pie or the chicken nuggets. So if you are following me, then it'd be absolutely fantastic to know whether you are making stuff. And if you do make stuff, then please post some pictures. It'd be brilliant to see what your dishes look like, and I'm sure they all look really different. They probably look really much nicer than mine. It's just like amazing. So today I thought we would cook with fennel and bacon. So bacon isn't the healthiest thing to cook with, so do have it in moderation. It is high in saturated fat. It's a processed food, so it's not something to have every day, but people just can't not have bacon. I mean, it's just delicious, isn't it? So, but there are different ways you can cook it. So I've actually cooked mine today in the oven, and I did it between two baking dishes with some greaseproof paper, and still an awful lot of oil came off. So I still then took some kitchen paper and I took all the oil off. So really that's one of the best ways, because you don't want to be having the oil that comes off the bacon, but you do want it to go crispy. So this hasn't crisped up as much as I'd like, so I'm going to add it when I do my vegetables and see if I can just get it that little bit crispier. But otherwise it'll be absolutely fine. So I've also pre-cooked my pasta. So you want to pre-cook your pasta because you're going to add it to your sauce, and then you're going to make it's basically a pasta bake. But one of the great things about actually is using cooked pasta is it turns into something called resistant starch. And resistant starch is absolutely brilliant because it's a way that the body doesn't recognise. It's another type of fibre, and the body doesn't recognise it so much when it goes through, so it adds a lower insulin resistance. So for those people who are trying to lose weight, or maybe want to a diabetic, or maybe just want to maybe be on a lower carb diet, adding some resistant starch into your diet will be great. So what's really good, if you cool it and eat it, that's great. But what's even better, if you cool it and then reheat it, the resistant starch gets even higher. So I've made some extra because I cooked too much. So I'm going to use some of my extra pasta, and I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to make some maybe into pasta salad, and I'm going to put it in the fridge, and then I'm going to heat it up another day for a pasta dish. So it's just a bit being organised. And again, if you did that, because we often do cook too much, and rather than throwing things away, because we always waste too much on food waste, then literally save it somehow and use it for another dish. So fennel. I don't know if many people cook with fennel. Fennel, I think, is absolutely delicious. You can eat it raw. You can use it for so many different things. You can make fennel soup with it. You can add it to roasted vegetables. I think someone told me you can make it to a lovely coleslaw. So really, really loads of lovely things you can do with fennel, and it's got a really, really lovely aniseed taste to it. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to literally top and tail that. And then the side comes off. So sometimes the side can be a bit mucky like that. Sometimes it can be fine. Sometimes you can think I want to use that, and other times you can think I don't. So we're just going to cook this in a tiny bit of water first to actually try and get some flavour out of that, to make a tiny bit of sauce. So literally we're just going to cut, and we're just going to put that into cubes like this, and we're just going to put it in a bit of water. And then we're going to put it on our cooker to cook. So if we do that again, this one you see is much better, the outside of this one. Okay, and again we're just going to cube that. So again, it doesn't matter how much fennel you want to use, depending how many people you're cooking for. I'm cooking for 4, so I've just got 3 fennels here. Again, if you don't eat it all, you can again use it for a different night. That's absolutely fine. And again, I'm sure you could probably freeze it. I'm sure that'd be absolutely fine. Okay, so now if you wanted to, you could add all the other bits. So I might actually add these bits to my stock, because I think they're going to give me some added flavour. And the top of this just smells amazing. Okay, so let's just add that. And let's put that onto the boil, okay? Just to cook the fennel, to get some stock. Okay, So, because I always like to add all loads of vegetables to everything I'm cooking, then we're also going to add, we're going to make a simple sauce, but we're going to add to that, we're going to add some leek, we're going to add some grated courgette and some grated carrot, again to give some colour, some different vitamins, and then we're going to add the fennel, we're going to make a white sauce, and we're going to pour it over the pasta, add the bacon, and that's just it done. It's really easy, really, really simple, and it tastes delicious. So if we take our leek, so we're probably not going to use all our leek. So again, if we cut off the top and half that, and then again we can have a look and see if it's dirty. And if it's dirty, then it's washing. So if we just have a look, sometimes it came in a packet, and I think this one's going to be okay. Often, if you have a bit of dirt, oh, actually there might be. Let me just go and wash that. It's just take off the outer layers. It's nothing worse than having a bit of grit in your dinner, really. Okay, so again, we just cut this really, really small, okay? So if you don't like leeks, it's fine. You don't have to use leeks. You can use onion, or if you don't like onion, you don't have to use that either. You can buy ready sliced onions and leeks, all frozen. That could make your life really easy. There's no harm at all in using those. You could just literally grab a handful out of the freezer when you need to. So we just bring our cooker over and just turn that on. She says. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to add a little bit of oil. Just got a little bit of rapeseed oil. I'm just going to add that to our pan. And we're literally going to cook our leeks off. Okay. Right. So then I'm going to add some courgette. I add courgette and apples, not apples, and carrots and peppers and everything really. I just think it's just like one of those staple things when you're cooking. It just adds like different fibre. So by keeping the skin on the courgette, you just got fibre, which we all need, 30 grams a day. None of us get enough. You've got the vitamins in everything. And if you grate your courgette, especially if you're cooking for children, then they disappear and they don't even know they're there. So we're just going to we just maybe cut this in half to grate it. So just going to grate it. It just takes 2 minutes, but just be really careful about your fingers because it's really, really easy, and I've done it so many times to catch your fingers. So just grate that. So loads of water is going to come out of courgette, but that's fine. If we're going to fry it, it's going to be absolutely fine. Okay. So I think one day we're actually going to make courgette waffles because they're absolutely lovely. I'd love to show you how to make those. Okay, so we just put our courgette in, and if we just do the last bit. Okay. And I've just done, I did the carrot earlier, so you don't have to watch me grate everything. So here's the rest of the courgette I did, so I'll put that in, and if I show my carrot as well. Okay, so let's tidy up my workstation for you. Just, okay. Okie doke. So, nice tidy. Always nice to be tidy when you're cooking. Something I was taught when I was did my GCSE O-level cooking. Have a tidy workspace. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. So this is all going to be fried up. Okay. So this is our carrot, our courgette, our leeks. So literally, we're just going to fry that off until that's going to go really, really nice and soft. And then once that's done, we're then going to add a white sauce. And a white sauce is so easy to make. I think we made one last week in our chicken pie. So let me show you again. My pan. So literally, all we're going to do is we're just going to get a pan, and we're just going to add some butter. A little bit of butter. Sorry, I'm not very good at weighing it out. I think it's about 50 grams, I think, 50 grams of butter, 50 grams of flour, and I think it's about 500 mils of milk if you want to be good. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of flour as well. Okay, and then we're going to add some milk. So I use plant-based milk just because we don't have dairy in this house. But if you use dairy milk, that's absolutely fine. If you're looking for children, then you'll be wanting to use dairy milk, really, especially up to the age of 2. That's absolutely fine. Add some milk too. Okay, and then when we're ready, we're going to add that to our pan. So that's literally what it looks like at the moment, and then we're going to add it once this is all cooked. So just get another spoon out, and we're going to big stir. So if I was on a workshop, I'd be having a lull. I'd be going, "Come on, guys, talk to me. What do you like to talk about?" And we'd have a little bit of discussion. So if people are watching, and it'd be really lovely if you are, then please talk to me on chat. It's just like absolutely fine to have a conversation. Ask me anything. And if you aren't watching it live and you are watching it recorded, which would be fantastic, then please write anything you like in the comment box and I will get back to you. Absolutely fine. Or if you've got any ideas what you'd like me to cook another time, or any questions about nutrition that you'd like to ask, then absolutely fine. I'm more than happy to answer questions. Okay, so this is starting to all really simmer down really, really nicely. So it's a really good opportunity to add some nice seasoning. So we can add some fennel seeds, because I think, funnily enough, they'd go really nicely. She says. Some mixed herbs. This is missing. Fennel. Always hiding. Okay, so some fennel seeds. Okay, so fennel seeds are absolutely yummy. So let's add those. Okay, just a sprinkling. Okay. Okay. Oops-a-daisy. Okay. Right. So look how that's gone. That looks yummy. Can you see that? That's all disappeared really, really nicely. So we just fry that a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now add the bacon. So here's the bacon that we cooked earlier. So we're going to want to have this in small bits, because when we're eating our pasta bake, we don't want to have big bits of bacon. We want to have small bits. So we just want to. You can just you can cut it if you want to. If you don't want to get your hands mucky, get a knife and fork and cut it. I just thought it'd be really easy just to tear that, because it's all cooked. If you didn't want to do it in the oven, if you wanted to cook it, that's fine. You could fry it, or see, it's a bit of gristle. I don't want that, so I'm going to take that off. Some people like to grill their bacon. That's absolutely fine. This is streaky bacon, but you could use back bacon. That would be equally as good. And if you do get some little bits like this little bit of fat, which is going to be horrible, it's a good opportunity to get rid of that. It's okay. Just keep going with all this. Sorry, it's a bit slow. Should have done it earlier. Sorry. Okay. A little bit. Right. So I'm getting a bit lazy now, I'm doing it a bit bigger. I'm worrying that I'm keeping you too long. Okay, so there we go, all done. Okie doke. So here we just fry this off a little bit. And what I think we might add, actually I forgot, I think we might add a tiny bit of garlic. So again, just adds a little bit of extra flavour. So I'm using lazy garlic, but you can use a proper garlic clove. That's brilliant. If you want to do that, it's absolutely fine. So I just add a tiny bit again. It will add a little bit of flavour. Again, garlic isn't for everyone, so again, if you don't like it, you don't have to add it. It's really totally up to you what is your preference. But if you are adding garlic, remember it burns quite easily, so try and add it at the end. And just remember that flavour's everything really. So whatever age you are, children, again, love flavour, so don't feel you have to give them bland food. Adults, all of us like flavour. And as you get older, especially people with dementia really, really need strong flavour foods. So something to remember, to really think of a way to flavour their foods, which makes it taste really nice. Okay, so the bacon has actually got a bit crispier, you can see that. So that for me is perfect at the moment, okay? So I'm going to take it off the heat, and I've got to add I'm going to replace it with my pan for my sauce, okay? So this one, I'm just going to stir, and I just literally want to stir with the butter and the milk and the flour. So hopefully I haven't used too much milk, because I wanted to add some of the stock for my fennel, but it's being a bit slow, so there might not be time. But ideally, that's what you would do. You maybe take a little longer and cook the fennel and get the flavour, and then you want to use the flavour for the that you're cooking the fennel in to use your stock. I actually forgot, so despite putting it on, so that's ideally what you want to be doing. I'm conscious you're all looking and you might be getting bored, but so this is cooking at the moment. But I think it's going to be too thick, so I think we'll be able to add some extra flavour. Okay, so if I'm just going to use a whisk for the moment, just to whisk it up. There's no harm in using a whisk. I think most chefs would be appalled, but really there isn't any harm. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit of flour, but never mind. Okay. Right, just stir it up and waiting. So that's now gone absolutely smooth. So that will just thicken up. So we'll just wait for that to thicken up. Okay, and I can hear my fennel bubbling away. So we're going to have a look at that. Okay, so I give that just 2 minutes. And then this is going really thick now. I'll show you, it's starting to thicken up. Okay. Okay, so that again is a really simple white sauce. Okay, so if you ever feel that you need to buy one in a jar, please think again. Think how easy that was to make. A bit of butter, a bit of flour, a bit of milk. It's taken a couple of minutes to cook that. It's so easy, so quick, and you can, you could freeze that. You could, if you wanted to, make more, or just think how easy it is for your one dish. It's and then you know exactly what's gone into it. You can add whatever. So we're going to add some mixed herbs to that to give it some flavour as well. I want to add a bit of stock as well, so I'm going to add a little bit of bouillon that I've got. So I haven't got much left, so I'm going to add a last little bit of that, and that's like really quite thick now. So what I need to do is I'm going to just turn that down a little bit, and I'm going to get my fennel that's been cooking. You see that? That's all been cooking. It's all perfect. So I'm just going to grab my, I grab a ladle, and look, it's all good green, okay? So it's got all that flavour. I'm going to add that to my sauce. Okay. And that's going to hopefully give a bit of flavour of fennel to that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so cooking that away. Okay. And then thought we can add a bit of black pepper as well. So you might need to add a little, if you want to, a tiny bit of salt. Again, if you're cooking with children, watch the salt because they don't need the salt. Black pepper's lovely. Salt does bring out the flavour of food. It's a flavour enhancer. So if you're using stock cubes, just be aware that's all you need because it's full of salt. If you are using something like your bouillons, it's fantastic, but again, it's full of salt. This one is low salt, which is great, but you might just need to add a tiny bit. So just add just a tiny bit, just to bring out, I'm not going to use a lot, I'm just going to use a tiny bit, okay, to maybe bring out some of those flavours, okay. Okay, so my sauce is all gone, it's probably a tiny bit runny, but it's fine, because we're just going to let it boil down a bit, but we've got so much pasta for it to take up that I don't mind, and actually it might not be enough sauce, so we could try putting that together. So if I turn that off for a moment, actually if I might just thicken up a little bit, let me have a look. Oh, it's getting so nice. I'm really sorry you can't taste it because I'm sure it's going to be absolutely yummy, but I really hope that you have a go to make yours and have a go. Right. You know, I might actually be brave and add a little bit more. Okay, let's add a little bit more water. Oops. Okay, right. There you go. So, this is my sauce at the moment, so I'm just going to let that thicken up. So if I bring over my big pasta dish, and in that I'm going to add my pasta. Okay, so my already cooked pasta. I'm going to place that, and it's a bit clumpy, so it's fine. Just declump it. That's absolutely fine. I might not need all of that, so I might take some of that out to see how we go. So literally declump it. It's absolutely fine. Okay, because you don't want all clumps when you're eating it together. Right, and then to that I'm going to add my vegetables. Okay. So again, I probably could have done more, couldn't I? Amazing. I think I said last week that you think you've done loads of vegetables, you really think you have, and then when you're then adding it to whatever you're cooking, they've all disappeared. You go, no, where have they gone? So I don't think you can ever cook with enough, really, to be honest. Okay, then I'm going to add my actual fennel. Okay, so I'm going to add which actually they've kept their shape, which is amazing. But they'll probably fall apart when you're cooking, which is fine. Okay. So I might actually save this water, and I might use it. I think what I might do actually is make a fennel soup. So I'm going to save these bits. Okay. Let's take this back. I don't want that bit in there. Okay. Take these last two bits. Okay, take it off. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do actually, let me turn it off, it's going to boil over. Right, I'm going to save this and I'm going to make a soup. And this is going to give loads of flavour, okay? So I'm going to add that I'm going to look in the fridge and see what I've got. And I'm going to use up some maybe vegetables, which are a bit on the turn. Vegetables maybe need to be used up to save some food waste. And this stock with this fennel, when it's pureed, is going to give us such an amazing flavour. So I think I'm going to do that for my lunch, okay? Just a top tip. Okay, so with our sauce, so like I said, my sauce is a little bit runny. but I don't think it matters. Famous last words. Okay, so let me pour that over my pasta. There you go, perfect actually. So that then is a pasta bake. So we'll just give that a really big stir. Right, so if you eat cheese, you could probably add some grated cheese to the top, or we could add actually, I could add some yeast flakes. I don't know how they work, but they do give a tiny little flavour of cheese, which is quite bizarre. So I might add a few little bits of these to the top, just to give it a little bit of extra kind of cheesy flavour. And there you go. You have a really simple, really healthy, yummy pasta, fennel and bacon tray bake. So I really hope you've enjoyed being with me today. It's been lovely having you. Thank you. So go away and have a go. Again, you can add everything different to yours. You could, if you didn't have the right vegetables, or you didn't want to add vegetables, that's absolutely fine. And just try, and please feedback to me, let me know how you get on. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm going to be here again at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I haven't decided what we're going to cook yet, but I'm sure I'll think of something. Okay, all right, thank you, bye-bye.